Hey guys, welcome to another Anon Gremlin video. Today we are looking at another weapon review in Mass Effect Andromeda since patch 1.06, and I thought I'd go back and re-review the Sidewinder. The reason I'm re-reviewing the Sidewinder isn't because it's had an amazing buff as of patch 1.06, but my previous reviews, a lot of people were like, Anon, you're being a little bit too harsh on this, and it was one of my first gun reviews, so I thought I'd go back and re-review it, and patch 1.06 has given me an excuse to do that. So it's had a damage buff as of patch 1.06, a very minor one. It's gone from 150 damage at rank 1 to 167, and now it will be doing 200 damage at max rank X compared to 180 before. Apart from that, the rest of its stats stay the same, so the rate of fire at 380, the 6 max clip size, the 47 max ammo, 53 accuracy, and very light weight of 8. All gameplay you are seeing is recorded on gold, and this is different from the first review because on the first review I'm pretty sure I was recording on bronze, so it is a massive step up in that sort of sense of the review. But before I get into the details of the review, can you please leave a comment telling me which guns to review next? I've done the guns that I've unlocked with sizable increases to them as of patch 1.06, but if there's any hidden gems that you think I've missed, please leave a comment in the comment section and explain why you believe that gun should be re-reviewed. Obviously guns like the Ghost I want to get around to reviewing, but I haven't been lucky enough to pack it yet, so that is why you haven't seen that. So let's get back into our Sidewinder review, and the Sidewinder, if I was to review it aesthetically, just on its aesthetics alone, I would say it is the most attractive gun. I love how it's got so much attention to detail to it. The fact it's got wires coming off of it, it's not a generic design, it just looks like what you'd expect a space revolver to look like. Moving on to it statistically, obviously it's not too different statistically from when I first reviewed it. The problem is the first time I reviewed it, it was literally one of my first reviews, and I didn't realise the state that the game was in at the time. So I gave the Sidewinder quite a harsh review because I was kind of comparing everything back to Mass Effect 3 because I hadn't had too much experience in the game. But now I realise that the Sidewinder has a lot of merits to it when compared to guns in Andromeda. So the first thing I'm going to say is, as of patch 1.06, it's obviously had 17 more damage given to it. You may think, hey, this isn't very much extra damage, and you would be right saying that, but due to its high rate of fire, that is a really nice feature of the Sidewinder. That's why a lot of people like using it. It does shoot very rapidly. That 17 extra damage each time for 6 shots basically roughly gives you plus 120 damage in a quite quick window, so you do kind of feel that plus 17 when in conjunction with all those fast fired shots. And that's what the strength of the Sidewinder for me is, its high rate of fire. I would like it to have a higher mag size, but you can obviously mod that in with modifications, or by using various consumables you can improve that, so it doesn't have to be the end of the world. But I do love the Sidewinder's rate of fire just because you can literally get bullets out extremely quickly. Also, its accuracy is a very stable gun and it is very nice to use. A lot of people when looking at the Sidewinder may be intimidated by it. Looking at it, looks like it's going to be a high damage, high recoil sort of gun, but that is not the case. Its bullets are fairly minimal in their damage, but the benefit of that is you don't have a lot of recoil with the gun, hardly any, so it is a very stable gun to use, and that is a really nice feature of it. Obviously its weight of 8 does mean that you will be using it as a secondary, and that kind of warrants for me the gun doing not as much damage as I would hope it to, just because it is supposedly by its weight supposed to be used as a secondary, not your main damage doer, and this will come in conjunction if you're using it with a weapon as a secondary to maybe an assault rifle, but also if you're using it as a primary on something like the Asaria Depth that I'm using it here, because it is kind of your secondary even though it is your only gun, so it's technically your primary, just because your primary really on the Asaria Depth is your powers. So when using the Sidewinder, it is obviously used as a secondary, and when used on Asaria Depths it's really nice because it allows you to get that 100% cooldown, and you can kind of use it to damage enemies a little bit or finish them off if your powers haven't done so. I've been in several situations where I've kind of used my abilities and I've done a combo and it's left a fraction of an enemy's health left, and I've just been able to finish them off with the Sidewinder. So when used on characters like the Asaria Depth or anything with large amount of combo damage, power damage, you are able to run around with it, have 100% cooldown, and literally finish off enemies, so it's a really nice weapon in that sense. If you're looking at using the Sidewinder on its own, you will be disappointed. Obviously you can modify its damage and use consumables to make it more damaging, invest in your characters to make it more damaging, you can make it a lot more viable, but using it on its own as maybe you think it's going to be a cool sort of pistol to use because it looks like a Desert Eagle, it's bound to do a lot of damage, you will be disappointed, and it's definitely not gold viable when used in that way. However, if you are looking for something like that, I recommend going back and looking at my Talon review, because the Talon is kind of what aesthetically the Sidewinder looks like, if that makes sense to you. So this is not the gun that you're going to be looking at using on its own as a kind of like high damage pistol that can kind of like 2 or 3 hit enemies, because it is sizably weak and you will find yourself dying unless you have a character that can sustain themselves and not necessarily have to rely on gun damage. I've also pointed out the fact that I would like its max clip size to be bigger, just because you shoot so fast, you find those 6 bullets are literally done in no time, but luckily this is compensated quite well by quite a low reload time, so BioWare have kind of thought of that, which is nice to see, considering that maybe not a lot of effort was put into the multiplayer, but little issues like that have been kind of cleared up to make the fact that it only has 6 bullets in its mag not such a big problem. So there we go, that is another review. Somebody said they wanted me to do a discussion video on whether I think, my opinions on the fact that we're not going to be getting any Mass Effect content for a while, because it's kind of been put in cryo sleep due to the problems with Andromeda. If you want to see that, leave a comment as well, but more importantly, leave a comment of what you want me to review, just because I'm not sure if I've let any gems slip under the rug really, and I've missed out on some guns that need to be reviewed because they're absolutely amazing. Any guns that I haven't reviewed yet, there's 8 in total, that's because I haven't been able to pack them for some reason. I'm just getting extremely unlucky in that sense, just keep packing the same stuff over and over again. But please do like, comment and subscribe. A lot of you did have a lot to say about the Shadow review, and I do apologise about that. I was kind of making it a more general review for those who kind of like jump onto the game or just looking to see if the gun's good or not. But I understand a lot of you people who do invest a lot of time in the game have been able to sustain the Shadow quite well and make it a very viable and powerful weapon. So hats off to you guys. But anyway, as I said, cheerio, like, comment, subscribe, have a nice day.